All right, Colorless Eldrazi. We tried and failed to play this league earlier. I think it was 2 weeks ago now at this point, technically, since it's Sunday. I believe the Serum Powder bug has been fixed with Mulligan, so hopefully that's been addressed. We're going to jump on in and have an okay league. My expectations going into this league are kind of low. I'm not a huge fan of this archetype. I definitely, in general, prefer the banned Eldrazi deck in terms of playing Thought-Knot Seers in Modern, but the format's definitely in a place where Chalice of the Void is probably better than it's been in a long time, with both Grixis Shadow and Phoenix being popular-ish, and, you know, turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer is nothing to scoff at. Hey, gamer, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. What's going on, Tannen? Not even close to first, but welcome. Been around since the big red days of Legacy. Been a huge fan of your content. Lumberjacks, that is a long time. Thank you for the 12 months to support it, Narrate. I really appreciate the prime. Happy Easter and welcome back. Have a sword to go with your shield. Yeah, the beard looks pretty reasonable. I might trim it up at some point here. It's getting a little sloppy, but I end up being a little bit bigger. Tannen never gets first. Wow. Zing. Pretty easy mulligan here. Only 1 land, no Eldrazi mana, stuff like that. I think this is a keep. I've got both. I'm on the play. I've got both Dismember and Chalice of the Void. We're at 6, so we're going to ship the second Endbringer here. Ouch to Pierce. Thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. If you had the option between Chipotle and 40 other restaurants for lunch, how much extra cheese would you get with your burrito bowl? A lot. I'm going to lead on the Ghost Quarter here, so that way they don't know necessarily that we're playing Eldrazi. Conceals information a little bit. Jack Oz, thanks for the 3-month resub. I appreciate the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Happy Sunday, folks. Well, they didn't have an egg or a 1-drop on 1, but if they're playing Green Tron, Chalice on 1 does have text here. Worth noting the Dismember's not going to be particularly good, but Ghost Quarter looking pretty fantastic. Mind Stone. So Mind Stone is actually incredibly bad for us, because Mind Stone implies that my opponent is playing Eldrazi Tron, which is likely a very bad matchup for us. So this, in general, in these kind of mid-range or control matchups in Magic, you want to be just slightly bigger than whatever your opponent's doing. And in this case, the Eldrazi Tron deck is definitely slightly bigger than what we're doing. So I would not be surprised if we get dumpstered very quickly in this matchup. That being said, they just cycled Mind Stones. They're just kind of spinning their tires here, which is good for us. Yeah, that's true. The fact that they are on Eldrazi Tron right on time to drop does mean that Dismember goes from having no text to having text. Although the inverse of that is true too. It means the Chalice of the Void goes from like being pretty reasonable to being like almost worthless. They sometimes have like Relic. There's a Dismember of their own. They sometimes have like Relic or Expedition Map, but a lot of times these like don't play that many ones because they often play Chalice themselves. He says as he looks at his opponent with Dismember in the hand. Scrap Trawler and Platinum Empyrean. Well, I guess I'm taking the scrap. I think I'm taking the Scrap Trawler. Cause like, if I guess I could take the Platinum Empyrean. Cause this exiles it, right? I was thinking like if I don't take this, they just like, yeah, I'm gonna take the Empyrean. I was thinking if I don't take the Empyrean, they Scrap Trawler it back, but that's not true because we're exiling it. Yep, you have 3-2. All right. There could have also been merit to just taking their Dismember, because like Endbringer does like good work here Except for the fact that, like, they just have the Dismember in their hand for it. It's gonna take this trade here, I think. It's like a trade because they get Mind Stone back, but... Oh, Moto has encountered a serious problem and needs to close. Oh, Magic Online. It's gonna be a swell next 3 days becoming reacquainted with your features. The sponsors love Moto though. These people are great by their stuff. Happy Easter, Alec. And we're back. It's not a bug, it's an Easter egg. Moto doesn't have bugs, it just has happy accidents. They're putting Chalice on 2? Sure. So, I had initially planned to take the weekend. I'm actually going to wait on this Endbringer, because I know my opponent has a Dismember in their hand. So I was planning to take the weekend off Immortal, and then I found out that Moto has 9 hours of downtime on Wednesday. So, rather than only do 2 days of Moto this week, I decided I wanted to get a full 3 in. I want to take a good chunk out of the queue. Finally get that back under control. Yeah, I'm just not going to play this matchup. This matchup's like super rancid for us. I'm just going to move on to the next one. It's one of the problems with playing a deck like this, is this deck's not doing anything that's inherently very powerful. It's kind of a metagame deck. And then, like, when you run, there's, like, a variety of things in the format, like Green Tron and Eldrazi Tron and, like, random mid-range decks that don't really care about Chalice of the Void for one, like Green Black Rock, that you just, like, line up super poorly into. I think in general, trying to metagame in Modern is a pretty big mistake. You just probably want to play something that's like kind of proactive as opposed to playing something that's like got these trying to lean into these specific narrow hate cards. This is like basically a legacy deck trying to exist in Modern, and there just like aren't enough decks that Chalice hoses in this format. It has a buddy list, yep. Ain't your buddy, pal. I would love to play first. Yeah, I mean, like, this is a keep, right? Like, we're not playing this deck to mulligan. Chalice for one, turn one on the play. Just like hoping it's good enough. I know you don't like playing them. What do you think about the viability of prison decks now that they've been figured? I don't think they're very good. I think the people that do well with those decks do well because they're incredibly good Magic players, and they would win probably regardless of what they're playing. I mean, what I just said applies to those decks as well. I think trying to play decks that are full of answers as opposed to trying to just be proactive in this format is a big mistake. The key to all of these things, as always, is that how much worse are those than the other things that people play? Not much worse. So, like, if you really like the deck and you're like a really good Magic player, sure, you can win. You can win plenty of other things. Would you accept the new Ral combo deck? I do not say yes or no to decks that I will play just by asking me what the archetype is. Please use the form on my website. Helps me stay organized. Helps me not say yes to things I really don't want to say yes to. No. bit.ly / Google sellout. Or go to the jeffhoagland.com link. They flipped Damnation to their Dark Confidant. All right, Bobby. I'll take Running Bloodbraid Elves next. Please and thank you. We did lose the first one, which sends us quickly en route to the mid-range bracket. It's worth noting here that, again, that, like, Chalice of the Void, not super fantastic in a matchup like this. Definitely going to get boarded out here. It stops, like, their Inquisitions and their Thoughtseizes, but, like, those are going to be dead at some point anyways. Liliana the Veil here that I can never beat. I guess that's not strictly true. I have a Reality Smasher, but still not going to be a good scene for me. I guess I've been the Endbringer. Yeah, but, like, Lightning Bolt isn't really a magic card against us. And, like, as Liliana's showing here, they still have ways to get rid of them and turn them into useful cards. Am I supposed to force the down tick here? I don't think I am. I think I just fire this up, smack Lily for 1, play Smuggler's Copter. And then the question becomes, after they push her up again next turn, do I hope to draw land for the Smasher, or do I... Oh, so if they're good here, they're just going to empty our hand, right? They're going to go, like, Call Against Command, Shatter, Discard, Liliana Plus. One to two copies of Smuggler's Copter is, like, fairly... Well, this is an Eldrazi Tron. Oh, really? We play a Last Hope instead. Okay. Interesting. I thought for sure they would have emptied my hand with K-Command. Alright, hoping to draw land here. This might be a quick league for this one. Like I said, not a huge fan of this deck. I think we've run into 2 matchups in a row where, like, again, your metagame gamble of Chalice of the Void just, like, falls pretty solidly on its face. Get to cut the Chalices and bring in cards just like Have Text, Relic, Karn. I think this is actually a Simian Spirit Guide out matchup. This is kind of a more attrition-based matchup, so I just, like, want more cards that, like, have text as the game goes long, whereas, like, this is basically just a land. This seems fine. Not super exciting, but fine. Bringing in Relics because they make their Tarmogoyf worse. Some Spatial Contortions. Spyglass is nice here. Maybe. Like, do I want to bring in Spyglass against the Culligan's Command, Assassin's Trophy, Abrupt Decay deck? Feel like I'd rather just, like, have more threats to pressure what they have going on. I think Serum Powder is kind of important here. Serum Powder being able to mulligan us up cards with Eternal Scourge, as well as just, like, being an okay mana rock to get to Reality Smasher and Endbringer sooner is, like, not irrelevant. My deck only has 22 lands in it, so I don't think I can afford to cut both Simian Spirit Guides and Serum Powders. And I think Serum Powder is the better of the two. If this was something like Bant Eldrazi, where I, like, had more actual lands and Ancient Stirrings, you can afford to cut all your accelerants in an attrition matchup like this. But because this deck doesn't have powerful cards like Ancient Stirrings, it needs to leave Serum Powder in just so it can, like, actually play Magic with some consistency. Gosh, this hand would be really good on the draw. I would get to Gemstone Caverns in the Eternal Scourge. I think it's keepable on the play. It's like not super exciting, but it's like land, relic, go. It's like absurdly slow, but my opponent is playing a mid-range deck, so like this is one of like the few matchups in Modern where a hand this slow is like passable-ish. I guess a lot of the combo decks in Modern like get disrupted by relic, so even in a combo matchup, it might be a keep depending on what the matchup is. Like against Dredge, for instance, this hand's probably a keep. Oh yeah, we have Scavenger Grounds too. Yeah, this hand would be pretty reasonable against Dredge. Yep. Yeah, the London Mulligan. I assume that if the Mythic Championship goes well next weekend, the London Mulligan's just going to be here to stay on Magic Online. But at the very least, it's staying up through next weekend. The waiting game while people do other things while playing Magic the Gathering online simultaneously because the chess clock doesn't punish them. Yeah, we are going to get to play Narset Cannon with the new Mulligan rule for the first time. Leading on Mutavault here, because this way if I don't draw a 2-drop on 2 and they don't represent like a lightning bolt, I can attack them with Mutavault for 2. Just like, get things going. Perfect. Hey, look at that pretty ravine. So now that I drew that, I'm just going to pass here. Because, like, getting in 2 points of damage is nice, but, like, if they drop a Goyf or a Bob, I want to be able to Spatial Contortion it and then untap and play Eternal Scourge. Happy Easter, Marty. Make sure we activate a Relic every turn. Keep those Tarmogoyfs small. Make their Relics, make their Culligan's command slightly worse. Eternal Scourge is actually, like, kind of uniquely annoying in this matchup, especially when we get to pair it with Relic of Progenitus. So this card can be cast from exile, and anytime they try and target it with a removal spell, it gets exiled instead. So it's just like the cat that comes back again and again and again. The very next day, oh, the cat came back. We thought he was a goner, but the cat came back. They knew he wouldn't stay away, away, away. Hey, hey, hey. Maybe I'm just supposed to kill Liliana there. It might be right to go like Mimic, Mutavault, hit this. I could see that being correct. But I don't know, like, if they plus the Liliana, they're like taking another card out of their hand and like trading an Eldrazi Mimic out of my hand for a card out of theirs is like a fine exchange for us. Happy holidays, do 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 do. Do 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 do. Marty hath been known to gift subs on occasion. He is one of our regular sub Santas around these parts. All right, so do I fire up Mimic and just smack? Now I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and attack Liliana for 3, I think, here. And just play both these out of my hand. Just get my hand empty. Did you get the deck I submitted on Friday night for Boros aggro? Have I responded to? Yeah, it looks like it's in there, Helios. It looks like it was submitted Saturday though, so I haven't looked at deck submissions since I've not looked at deck submissions since Friday after the stream. So that makes our Eternal Scourge a little bit worse, just because we no longer get to get it back inside of combat. Like an okay spot here. If they roll off Damnation, we're probably going to have a bad time, but they have one card. They're dead on board. They're not dead on board, technically. Oh, they are, right? Because they have to fetch to activate Raging Ravine. So even if they animate Raging Ravine to block, they're still taking 6 with the Mutavault activation. I pretty much take anything that's not, like, a budget deck when new standard rolls out, Marty. Like, all bets are pretty much off, so long as it's not like, this deck only exists like this because I didn't have wild cards. I'll pretty much play anything, just to, like, see what shakes out. Yeah, I mean, that deck's just, like, slightly weaker stock Sultai, right? It just got, like, Vanafear instead of, like, the Find package. Which is, like, plenty reasonable. The Explore package is real good. Happy Sunday, folks. It's been a hot second since I've done a weekend stream. They're going to be coming back with a vengeance, though. The new set releases on Arena on Thursday, so I'm going to be live Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week. Maybe taking Wednesday off this week as opposed to working 7 days in a row, though. Because Moto is down Wednesday, and I don't really want to play more Arena with the current standard format. Ready for new cards. The current standard format feels like I came, I saw, we'll try again next time. I'm not a fan of this archetype, Zerim. I think it's much worse than Bant Eldrazi. I think it's kind of a metagamey deck that's trying to lean on Chalice of the Void, and there's just not enough decks in Modern that are soft to Chalice of the Void to make this deck very good. I believe early access is actually Tuesday for some reason, Marty. I'm pretty sure that's true. Did I make that up? The early access event is from 7 a.m. on April 23rd. Yeah, it's on Tuesday. Yeah, it's really strange. So they're gonna like, and this is like such a weird timing on their part. Eldrazi Temple. It's so weird to like have the early access event happen and then like have this gap in between. So like just no one's gonna stream on Wednesday. Yeah, it's 7 a.m. Tuesday till 7 a.m. Wednesday. I'm like, fingers crossed, maybe they're gonna like surprise release the set for everyone a day earlier and they're actually gonna release on Wednesday, because that would be sweet. It would make sense that the streamer event's on Tuesday if they're actually releasing the set on Wednesday. But I feel like if that was the case, they would have announced it by now, but maybe that's not the case. We'll see. I think I just ditch a Thought-Knot Seer here, because their hand is likely to get pretty empty from this Liliana. And then I think I'm actually going to go ahead and cycle this, because I really want to put a Matter Reshaper into play next turn. Alright, we tried. Oh, that makes sense. They moved early access to Tuesday, so people playing... No, that doesn't make sense either, because the Mythic... I guess you can do... Like, the limited on here isn't... On Arena isn't real limited, right? Like, you don't draft in a pod? I guess drafting against AI is better than nothing. What's going on, Acid Dragon? Thanks for the 7 months. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. But like having early access so people can play at the Mythic Champion. The Mythic Championship is modern, so like they don't need early standard access. You know, you definitely can't draft. I'm like 99% sure you can't draft with people on Arena. I believe we've died. I believe we've died. We're just not beating out Leyline Ultimate. Sure, but I'm saying you can't draft on Arena the same way they're going to draft at the Mythic Championship. Tony, that's my point. So like Arena releasing early doesn't help people playing in the Mythic Championship at all. I guess it lets them get some familiarity with the cards, but like none of the formats directly translate. Like it's definitely better than nothing, but like it's not the same as any of the formats they'll be playing at the actual championship. I guess maybe Wednesday's probably the travel day for a lot of people playing there, so they like want their MPL players to be able to stream in the early access event. That's probably what it is. They probably want MPL players to be able to stream the early access, and a lot of them travel to the PT on Wednesday, or like want to be practicing on Wednesday. That would make some amount of sense. It's still awkward for the release day though, right? Because like people are like streaming the early access for a day, and then like there's this day where like nobody's gonna be streaming Wednesday, right? Because like who wants to go back to playing Arena with the old cards after they played with the new ones? And like, yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is weird. I think I'm gonna exile this Eldrazi Mimic. Nah, I'm gonna ditch the Dismember. I'm gonna ditch the Dismember. Just hope we don't need that. Unless they drop Modern on Arena. I doubt that is coming. Yeah, I don't know. Tis not mine to wonder why. It actually makes it more annoying that there's Moto downtime on Wednesday, because with Arena being a dead format, I might have actually had viewers on Wednesday for Modern. And instead it's like, well, can't stream Modern on Wednesday because Moto's down all day. Oh, it is what it is, I suppose. Alright, opponent played a 4/4 on one. Okay, Smuggler's Copter and hope for the best. Maybe my hand will get better. JK LOL. JK LOL. So this card, for people not familiar, makes both players draw 3 cards, then discard 3 cards at random, just because, you know, Magic's a high variance game. Yeah, I also ditched the Dismember just because, like, I didn't know what we were playing against, right? Like, if they're not a creature-based deck, the Dismember just doesn't do anything. This has to attack, so I'm actually going to go ahead and hold this as a blocker. So that way I can block and loot. Because this thing draws and discards when it blocks too, for whatever reason. Yeah, Hallowed One's definitely a deck that's fallen off a little bit. I honestly wouldn't be too surprised to see this archetype pop back up at the Pro Tour. It's very, very reasonable and consistent. Yep. No, Arena doesn't update till Thursday. I'm hoping that because the early access is a day earlier than it normal is, that maybe they'll publish the sets a day early. But that would probably make too much sense. That just might be my liability talking. Yeah, as of right now, I'm planning to take Wednesday off. Because MTGO is down and I don't want to play Arena with just the old cards without the new stuff. Yeah, like, is Chalice good here? I almost feel like it's not. Jeff will be streaming Knife Cat on Wednesday. I actually might do a short Warhammer stream Wednesday afternoon. We'll see. I think I gotta take my car in for an oil change and probably go to the gym Wednesday morning since I'm off. But I might do a Warhammer stream that afternoon. I don't think anyone would claim Serum Powder and the London Mulligan make this deck better. I certainly wouldn't. The Warhammer card game announced they're having a bunch of open paper tournaments for like $4,000 prize pools, and one of them's like 45 minutes from my house in June, so I'm gonna find a deck in paper and go play that, I think. Two more cuts here. Endbringer's probably slow. It makes the Phoenixes worse. Traditional Hollowed One tends to play Bloodghast as well, and they also play Delve Threats, so it makes Tasigur and Gurmag Angler worse. Yeah, I have a decent amount of paper cards. I am a little bit worried about being able to find the rest of the singles I might want, though. See, I've got a little bit. They're having, like, a whole bunch of these. They're having, like, a dozen or so of these 4K tournaments between now and the end of the summer. So, like, there's one or two of them that happen before the one that I'm going to play at the end of June. So I can, like, wait and copy deck list from one of them. So viable's a tough word. I don't like to say things are viable or they're not, because Magic's a game with an incredible amount of variance in it. So like at the end of the day, anything that you really want to play to some amount of degree is probably viable. Do I think this deck is very good? I don't think this deck is very good. Cool Stuff Inc. actually stopped stocking the Warhammer singles. I had previously bought a bunch of stuff from them. Alright, they actually upgraded my hand a little bit here. And then they took it away. Up, down, life's like a jump rope. Doop, doo, 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 doo. See, I think it's a pretty critical mistake to say that any deck that can put up a result should be considered viable, because just like good players with good decks fail to post results in tournaments, good players with bad decks and even bad players with bad decks run well and do well with decks that aren't really decks that are going to do well consistently. So like random deck posting a top 8, like, and then, like, there's the varying degrees of, like, all right, well, if it's not just, like, one result that makes it, how many results make it, or with what frequency do results make it, and with what frequency at what size tournaments do results count. There's so many different metrics, none of which are objective, that you can use to classify what's a playable or viable deck, etc. Yeah, that's true. And MTGO results are intentionally biased to make it so decks that are actually good seem like they're less good than they are. All right, well, this gives us a blocker, the old smusher on defense. While we slowly die in the air to this Flamewake Phoenix. Hey, Ribbon, thanks for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. We have a sideboard card in play. Why are we losing? Because Hollowed One's a great deck choice. Dredge is likely to be popular this weekend. And Hollowed One's a good deck because it's, like, powerful, but, like, gets to sidestep a lot of the hate that people have for Dredge. As demonstrated by turn 0 Leyline still getting stuffed in a box here. Oh, Burning Inquiry. Oh, Burning Inquiry. And then I hit a Dismember here, but, like, I'm not going to be able to cast Dismember. Wait. Oh, I'm just going to die to a Lightning Bolt? If I don't die to Lightning Bolt... Oh, they're not dead on the backswing, right? I'm one short. And, like, this is, like, again... Basically, the TLDR about this deck, we could do a wrap-up now, because we've 0-3'd successfully, because this deck is not good. The power level increase you get from eschewing playing colors in this Eldrazi deck is just not worthwhile. Like, just play Ancient Stirrings, play the good cards, and, like, play the Path to Exiles. If you want to cast Eldrazi's in Legacy or in Modern, I would highly recommend playing Bant Eldrazi. This is not a deck that I'm going to be playing again on stream. I almost didn't accept it this time, and then I felt bad because I had mixed up someone else's. So I had a mix-up with the deck earlier from someone who submitted it, so I kind of accepted a deck that I wasn't going to accept because I felt bad, and I shouldn't have. Yeah. And, like, at the end of the day, you know, we talk about viable and results. The last time we played this, I had the same thing that I wasn't really a fan of it, and we ended up going 3-1 because we hit a selection of matchups where, like, Chalice of the Void was good, and if you run good and get really good matchups, you can do fine regardless of what you're playing. But overall, I think this archetype leaves a lot to be desired. I think what it's doing is not inherently very powerful, and I think there's much better choices that are doing similar things but just are stronger and more consistent on average. All right, let's stand up for this one. Let's get some people. Oh. Scred, what a Grand Prix. I bet Burkhardt still has nightmares about that finals.